Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Only going to get worse because we're getting more drivers that's what they're used to. They're used to being distracted all day long with a phone.
It seems no matter what street you drive down or what time of day it is, you can find somebody using their cell phone behind the wheel. And area law enforcement say horrific preventable accidents are occurring because of it. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Mike has the evening off. This woman, Sarah Braith of Buffalo, Minnesota, was just sentenced to a month of work release after she hit and killed a 48-year-old woman who was riding her bike near Barnesville 2 summers ago. The jury acquitted Braith of felony charges she faced and instead convicted her of careless driving. With law enforcement trying to crack down on distracted driving, are the courts not holding up their end of the bargain? Valley News Team's Bradford Eric posed that question to the North Dakota State Patrol.
We've all seen it and have probably done it too. You get a buzz, you check out your friend's message and keep on driving.
So all these people are coming up through the high schools and stuff now. That phone is with them 24 hours a day. That's their connection to everybody else.
Captain Brian Newin says 15 years ago, connections were face-to-face, not digitally like today. And that's why the problem of people dying in distracted driving car crashes is only going to keep trending upward.
It does get frustrating sometimes, but the thing is that, we're going to do, law enforcement does the best job that we can.
Newin says his department can only do so much. When they send a crash investigation to the court, it's up to those offices to provide beyond a reasonable doubt distracted driving caused the crash. And that can be hard to do, resulting in many of these lesser sentences.
If they get those sentences where they have to actually go do some community outreach, that's a good way for them to go tell their story, because it gets that personal connection for people that they're talking to. Okay, this can happen to anyone.
Captain Newin says parents, one of the best things you can do is download one of the many apps that keep phones locked when your kids are driving. Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
Some of those apps we have posted online. Just click on this story on our website, valleynewslive.com. According to data from the U.S. government, over 3,000 people died in distracted driving crashes in 2013. Some parts of the valley saw rain and even thunder today, and now there are concerns of sleet in some areas and, at slick spots. Let's head over to Robert Hahn for the answers about tonight's weather. Robert?
Yeah, we're just above freezing now here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, 33 degrees. It's down to freezing in Grand Forks at 30 in Langdon. So if there was some water laying around in those locations, you may see a few slick spots developing. And as temperatures continue to fall, not only will we see a little bit of flurry activity, some sleet, some snow, and some rain, that will start to freeze as we head through the overnight hours, creating some slick spots. We've also got some windy conditions out there. Winds gusting over 30 miles per hour here in Fargo and Fergus Falls. Wind chills as cold as 18 in Langdon, 20 in Grand Forks, also 20 in Fargo. Lots of clouds out there. The brightest up just north of Bemidji, where we've got a thunderstorm that continues to slide off towards the east. Here in Fargo, a few flurries, a few drops of rain, and maybe even a few pellets of sleet as we head through the rest of the evening, and temperatures steady in the low 30s, possibly dipping to at or below freezing. Improving weather begins tomorrow, much warmer by the end of the week. Well, the details on that in just a few minutes.
All right, we look forward to it. Thank you, Robert. An autopsy is being conducted to determine exactly how a 50-year-old Wahpeton man died. Police say his son found him in an industrial area of town yesterday afternoon with 5 or 6 wooden doors stacked on top of him. Family members had been looking for the man since Sunday. Police say they don't suspect foul play in this case. We have new information for you now regarding a northwestern Minnesota woman who survived being hit by a semi while walking along a highway near Crookston early Sunday morning. 25-year-old Amber Shablow remains in satisfactory condition at All True Hospital in Grand Forks. The patrol says she was walking along Highway 75 at 1:45 a.m. Sunday when she was struck by a semi. And now the State Patrol has revealed that she wasn't alone.
She wasn't alone out there on the highway when she was hit by the semi?
That is correct. There was another pedestrian also along the highway when the crash occurred.
That was her husband?
That is my understanding, yes, it was her husband.
Okay. Any idea why they're out there in the middle of the night?
Again, the crash in itself remains under investigation.
Sergeant Grabo says the couple did not have a vehicle near the accident site. At this point, the accident remains under investigation and charges have not been filed against anyone. The driver of the semi, 61-year-old Robert Fulstrom of Gonvik, was not injured. Grabo says it appears the victim, Amber Shablow, had been drinking. A Moorhead man is facing multiple charges after police busted him with 15 grams of meth. Police got a call about a suspicious car in a parking lot on February 26th. Officers arrested Tyler Kania after they noticed he was scratching open sores on his face and arm, which led them to believe he was using meth. Police then conducted a canine search in his car and found the drugs. He faces a charge of selling 3 or more grams of drugs and for possessing 6 or more grams of drugs. Canio has a $75,000 cash bond or the option of a $35,000 cash bond, ensuring he wouldn't use drugs and is subject to random drug tests. Court documents say a Fargo man bit a woman on her face several times after he ripped her clothes off and tried to rape her. Fargo police responded to reports of a sexual assault Saturday morning on the 800 block of 10th Street South. When police arrived, they found the victim in her car, not fully clothed, with blood running down her face and on her arms. She said she's a friend with 28-year-old Holden Indvik, but hadn't seen him in a few years. Indvik is facing charges for attempted rape, aggravated assault, and fighting with police. The victim told police they were lying in Indvik's bed, cuddling with the lights off. Court documents say she was nearly asleep when Indvik forced himself on her. She told him no, and he began to choke her as she screamed for help. While fighting, Indvik began biting the victim's face and pulling her hair. Indvik eventually began allegedly ripping the victim's clothes off and attempted to rape her. Court documents also say that Indvik began to pour chemicals down the victim's face and throat. He is still in jail at this time and is due in court in April. He faces a minimum mandatory sentence of 5 years in prison if convicted. A 38-year-old Fargo man is facing charges of aggravated domestic assault and animal cruelty. According to court documents, Samuel Mikey is accused of choking and kicking a woman. The victim says the two know each other, but Mikey showed up drunk and angry at her home on Sunday. The woman says he grabbed her by the throat and kicked her several times on the back. Mikey also allegedly sat on her Chihuahua, grabbed it by the throat, and then threw the dog to the ground. Police around the country are fighting back against credit card skimmers at the gas pump, saying it's a major problem and hundreds of people are being ripped off. Criminals are placing small devices inside the gas pump or over the credit card scanner to steal your information. It's happening at gas stations in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and multiple places around the Twin Cities. Police in Eagan, Minnesota just launched a program working with gas stations to try and stop skimmers, and Florida lawmakers passed a bill increasing the penalties. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson talked to those who travel around the country who fill up with gas often.
Why is this happening in the first place? You have PIN numbers, you have Social Security numbers and everything protecting this card, and yet still hackers can just get it whenever they want, you know?
Dilip Ronaman drives thousands of miles on U.S. roads, stopping for gas often, always paying with a credit card.
I noticed this bunch of charges on my card. I'm like, well, what is this stuff? I don't buy video games, you know, and this Sony PlayStations and all kinds of stuff like that.
Last year, Ronaman was told by his bank he was hit by credit card scammers. Since, he got his money back, but he still isn't sure which swipe caused him all the trouble. Fargo and Moorhead police say local gas stations aren't being hit by skimmers, but people in the valley have fallen victim while traveling to the cities or Sioux Falls.
If you're using your credit card, you got to be aware of your surrounding. I mean, it's like anything else, especially like on a restaurant, like on here, you know. You gotta be. It's on the back of your mind if that the waiter is gonna actually, you know, charge you for what they're charging you, or they're just taking your number. All the information is in the card to later sell it. You know, that happens every day. So
I don't have an advice. I don't know what to do for myself. You know, I just go and hope and pray that nothing happens. You know, what can you do?
Reporting in Fargo, Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Oftentimes, card readers are impossible to see from the outside of the machine, but you should look to see if there's anything suspicious on the gas pump and report it. Experts say never use a PIN at the pump. It's safer to pay with a credit card and even better to pay inside the store. The flu is officially considered widespread in the state of Minnesota. Find out how many people have been affected and how to keep you and your family safe. And Here's a live look from Sioux Falls. Alex Egan will join us later in sports with how the Bison are doing at the Summit League tournament.
Some rain, some sleet, and some snow continue to make their way on out of the area. Another weak system gives the far southern valley a little bit of snow tomorrow morning. After that, a nice improvement as we wrap up the week. Your forecast details coming up.